Super.
Super.
French.
French.
Slang.
Slang. Slang. Badaboum, badaboum,
Slang,
badaboum.
slang,
Salut les amis. Welcome to this second class of Super French Slang. Today we're going to learn everything about eating. Well, everything, the basics. Eating is really important in France, and there's really a lot of words that you should know before you start a conversation about eating. So let's get started. Just as a warning though, for some strange reason, in the following sketch I decided to have a southern accent, a southern French accent. It's quite different from the main Parisian accent or the one you'll find in most of France maybe, in that it's very nasal. Extremely nasal. I thought it was fun, and it kind of suits the food topic really well as well, because a lot of the really good French food is from south of France, so it makes me think about that, and I thought it was a good training for you to train your ear about two different accents basically. Just so you know, it's very nasal, so it means like words like bien, c'est bien, or like bien, or pain, that bread, is du pain, pain. Train, the train, would be le train, c'est le train. C'est intéressant, c'est très intéressant. Having a weird accent because I think I have to switch back from English to French to Southern French, but you get the idea. Let's get started.
Oh putain, oh qu'est-ce qu'on a graillé. Oh.
Non mais on a bouffé comme des porcs quoi.
Oh j'avais la dalle.
Oh, t'as vu la dalle, mais ah, moi je crevais la dalle, j'en pouvais plus.
Oh j'avais les crocs. J'avais les crocs.
Oh, t'as vu la côte de bœuf qu'on s'est enfilée. Pouah.
On s'est mis bien, on s'est mis bien.
On s'est mis cher. Dans ma gueule, on s'est mis cher là.
Il a pris cher, je te raconte pas.
Tu fais un petit calva là pour faire passer ça?
Okay, so there's quite a lot to cover in this one, so let's get started. First one, probably the most important of this lesson, is bouffer. Bouffer, I probably use about as much as manger, which, you know, is the normal one.
Oh putain, oh qu'est-ce qu'on a graillé. Oh.
Non mais on a bouffé comme des porcs quoi.
And then there's grailler. Donc, on va bouffer, on va grailler. Grailler is more like masculine, I guess, not as common at all. Probably depends on regions and people using it. Both are very informal, so probably don't use them if you're talking to the Prime Minister or to someone you don't know. And then there's avoir la dalle. It comes from a really old expression from the 16th or 17th century, I think.
Oh j'avais la dalle.
Oh, t'as vu la dalle, mais ah, moi je crevais la dalle, j'en pouvais plus.
Dalle is like a slab, like a paving stone. But in the old days, it used to mean something else. It used to be the gutter. And so you have to think about your own gutter there in your mouth, and that's where all the food goes. So if you have the gutter, essentially it means you're really hungry. Avoir la dalle means you're really hungry. You can also crever la dalle. Like crever is a slang for to die. So it means your gutter is dying, basically. So you're extremely hungry, you're basically starving at this point. Another one, same meaning as avoir la dalle, to be hungry, is avoir les crocs.
Oh j'avais les crocs. J'avais les crocs.
Avoir les crocs means to have the fangs, those canine teeth. Basically think about a wolf that has like his fangs out and is starving and is about to eat you. That's the state you're in if you say j'ai les crocs. It's become quite common though, so it doesn't mean that you're like starving to death, but you're hungry. We mentioned the côte de bœuf, which I think I realised a lot of people don't really know what this is, even though they've learned French for a while. It's this kind of like prime rib of beef. It's a really common dish that you'll find in France, côte de bœuf, but in normal speed it's côte de bœuf. And then there are like less common ones, like s'enfiler quelque chose, which means that you have to deal with something, you have to take on something.
Oh, t'as vu la côte de bœuf qu'on s'est enfilée? Pouah.
In this context, obviously, it means that you're going to take on like a giant steak, and it's a big challenge. it was challenging for your stomach. And then there's the outcome of s'enfiler quelque chose, which is se mettre bien or se mettre cher, which means it's something you did to yourself. You've really put yourself like in a good situation, like you're extremely full. Se mettre bien, je me suis mis bien, on s'est mis bien. It means like you're like, oh, you're so full, like you've put yourself in a situation where you're like, you've dealt with your problem of hunger, you know.
On s'est mis bien, on s'est mis bien.
On s'est mis cher. Oh ma gueule.
Se mettre cher is a mix of two different expressions, but it's kind of the same meaning. Like you overdid it, basically. You ate too much, but you're really enjoying it. Last one, prendre cher. This one you can use for very different things. It could mean you've tried to take on something too big, or you're enduring something.
C'est mis cher là.
Il a pris cher, je te raconte pas.
Or you're having a hard time with something. And in this case, if you say, you know, I've had this giant steak and j'ai pris cher, it means like it was like way too big for me, but because it's food and, you know, we love it, we're really enjoying it. But it was too much, but I'm still enjoying it anyway. You could use it for other things, like if your boss wants to talk to you and he's not happy, someone else is going to tell you, tu vas prendre cher. Like, you're going to have a hard time, like something big is going to fall on your head. So that's it, that wraps up our second lesson. Stay tuned for more videos, and now you can order in the restaurant in super French slang. Just make sure you don't use anything that's too rude. It's all a bit rude, but if the waiter seems nice enough, you can let him know you're learning French and you're learning slang. That's it, enjoy your next meal, bye.
C'est drôle.